All right, Leo
Sure.
Fourwinters,
Cool.
what's up?
Dave, how's it going?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. How you holding up, bro?
Yeah, just gotta stay productive and stuff, hey, because
Yeah.
lockdown.
You been
Um,
working on anything at the moment?
yeah, I'm actually working on a platform for artists to collaborate. Like, hopefully, I'm gonna pitch it to some investors and see like what happens. But basically, it's a platform to connect creative people from like all around the world and help them to collaborate and have a place to display and share their like works and stuff. So, yeah, that's what I'm
Amazing,
working
man.
on at the moment.
Well, as you know, Crescendo has a whole bunch of artists. So if you wanted to
Absolutely,
ask some questions, like just hit me up, bro, and we can pass them on to you.
for sure.
I feel like that's a good segue into passing on, and it's all about passing on knowledge. The
For
reason why I've
sure.
got you in this conversation is because there's a certain part of your workflow that I quite admire, that I think is quite um, something that people can add to their toolkit to help them with their workflow. Um, and one of them was your attention, I guess, to detail in your work. And what I mean by that is like it's all the technical side of things, So, um, it's you go to write and record your song, and then, you're do you find yourself thinking like ahead of like how the song's going to sound when the whole thing is finished?
Honestly, like I should do that more from like a mixing kind of perspective, but like I kind of just experiment with it to see like what I can kind of pull off and see if it sounds nice, you know.
Yeah.
But like um workflow wise, like in terms of writing songs, like I definitely have a kind of general idea or like direction of where I'm like trying to take the song. Um, but then I kind of just let the flows and like the like how I'm writing it kind of take me to there, if that makes sense. Like
Yep.
I don't like to control it too much. Like yeah.
And if we were to break that flow down, like what would the songwriting, or the process of you writing a song, how would that look from beginning to middle to end? And is there any reason why, like you might break flow or you might stick to a flow when it comes
Mm.
to, you working on your music?
Sure. Well, you've always got to kind of like keep it spicy, you know what I mean? Like you got to have the flows like always changing like throughout the song to keep the people like interested who
Yep.
are listening to it. Um, but sorry, you mentioned something else just then. I completely mind blanked it.
Yeah.
Um,
What I was trying to get at, sorry, was like in my workflow, like I overthink it a lot. So
mm,
I might sit down and I might make a plan. Like if it's mixing, I might go, okay, I might start with the drums because that's the biggest job, and then I might make it halfway and go, well, I might work on something else just to rest my ears and get away from the
sure.
drums. Um, but I have a workflow that usually, it's if we were to relate to songwriting, it's like, do I start with exercises first to write
Right.
down?
Sure.
With my very limited, songwriting process, um, I I usually start with a brain dump. Like I just start dumping as many ideas as I can on a
Mm,
piece of paper, making a
sure.
complete mess like a 5 year old did it. But it makes sense to me, and the point is, I don't let technology limit what my brain wants to project. I just
True.
whatever it looks like with a pen and paper, I just dump it out there. So
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
smash
So
it
like,
up.
well, your workflow, or your kind of your process of writing a song. Let's say you
Sure.
hit that aha moment. What happens after that? Like where do you
Right.
start?
So for me, like I'll either start off by having like a concept or an idea like that I think kind of matches well with like the beat. Obviously, it depends if we've just made the beat or not, but like if not, then say I'll listen to the beat and I'll just try and blast it as loud as I can, like into my headphones or through the speakers downstairs, and then try and just like freestyle and get some flows to it, like
Yeah,
that are kind of because I'm spitting them over the beat, like obviously they're gonna sound better like with that song rather than any other song, if
yeah,
that makes sense.
yep,
So like um it's obviously gonna sound better when it's coming straight like from the beat and I've just like heard it. It's gonna sound like it's best when I'm flowing with the beat. I don't know, I kind of just feel like that's the easiest way to get flows, at least to start off with, and
Yeah.
then I can write like the bars to what, like the flows that I've just made, or I don't even have to like be saying like whole words. Like I can literally just mumble like random things and then write the words in like after. So once I've got the
Yeah.
flow that I like, that sounds nice with the beat.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how like my workflow kind of goes. But if I don't go down that direction, then I'll start off with the concept, and then I'll just start writing, kind of like in the same sense, just a brain dump. I'll put heaps of different ideas down and then write like the whole song with all of the different little ideas there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And well, you know, I know I'm some really good songwriters out there that that kind of follow that mumble phase first. You know, for them, it's about melody and flow first.
Yeah.
Words come second. You know, so they might just, you know, be absolute gibberish over a song.
Yeah.
But the intention is to come back and like rewrite those words and go, well, what words can I fit in there, etc.
For sure.
What made you want to get into, you know, this is the technical side that I think is, you know, that I think is great that you're pursuing. What made you want to get into the mixing side of things, man? It's, you know, so you've written your song, you've recorded it, and then, you know, like, this is the attention to detail that I've noticed that you're getting a lot better with. I remember seeing your first, you know, your first chain that you had on your channel strip, you know, and it was like, I don't know, like 13 plugins or something like that.
Yeah, producer's nightmare. I remember you said quote unquote, you know.
Hey, well, the thing is like, is it wrong if it works? You know,
true.
You know, is it, you know, if it sounds good at the end of the day, it's like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many plugins. Yeah, what made you want to get into that side of things?
Yeah, so basically, like anyone and probably everyone hates their voice like the first 30 times recording it, right? So like you're gonna record something on your computer, say on Logic, and then listen to it again and be like because it's dry, you're just gonna cringe at yourself and like want to delete the whole track and throw your computer off the window. Yeah, well, it's the stages, you know, barriers. But yeah, so basically I got into mixing because like I wanted to be able to make my voice sound better and like be able to kind of make whole songs from home rather than having to rely on someone else and like, or sending my songs off to an audio engineer somewhere. I'd rather just at least try and learn how to do it myself so I can, you know, don't have to worry. But I haven't got it to like kind of a studio or like a radio level of like mixing sound quality like yet. So it's still just that work in progress, really.
and I mean, there's a lot to consider there. There's a lot of detail that needs to happen. You know, and it takes a lot of time to achieve, I guess, the audible result that, you know, where you're happy with how your voice sounds, or like you hate your voice less.
Yeah. Just whack some reverb on it and some auto tune, you'll be fine.
In that order. Yeah. One question that I've been asking everybody is, I guess, knowing what you know now, if you went back to, you know, yourself when you were first starting with music, what advice would you give yourself?
I'd probably tell myself to have more confidence like in myself because, well, I mean, obviously that's relative to like my skill level at the time, but yeah, I'd probably tell myself to have more confidence and also just to like kind of to do it more. Like I would listen to what other people had to say. Obviously, like that's a good way to learn and to grow. But like when you're first starting out, obviously your results aren't going to be that, you know, great, and people are a bit hasty to give you like support. So yeah, I'd probably just tell myself to, you know, keep pushing and yeah, find the confidence and just get your voice out there. It's the hardest part about being an artist, or at least like wanting to be an artist, is that first like time that you project your voice, that you use your voice, like that's the biggest kind of barrier that you'll get over. And like I've been living with, well, I've known like my friends that I live with for like 10 or like my whole life pretty much, basically. Like we've grown up since primary school, and I only started getting into music 2 years ago, but I've been trying to like encourage them just to break past this first barrier, and it still, you know, hasn't happened for some, and it has happened for others. You know what I mean? So it's like just this, and I can tell that that is like the hardest part, is just being able to use your voice, even in your own time, but in front of other people is obviously like, yeah, pretty difficult thing for a lot of people these days. So yeah, once you can get that confidence, then yeah, push through, and I'm sure you'll be able to come to some results at some stage.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but yeah.
Yeah, wicked. Because it does it does play a major role, is the self-belief.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
That holds back. It doesn't matter whether you're pursuing music, like it could be anything. Yeah, that first barrier you've got to get over is yourself. Is
100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
and how you view yourself. That's right. One and the last thing that I kind of I'm curious about is how long you've been with us now?
Since March, I believe. Yeah, well, I mean, since March this year. So yeah.
In the limited time that you've known us, what's one thing that's changed about either your music, your workflow?
It's incredible the amount of kind of progress that I've seen, like being with you guys. Obviously, I've learned like so much from you in terms of sound engineering and like mixing and mastering and stuff, but also just having like a space where I'm free to like use my voice and like in a booth or whatever, to just have time to progress, like coming in every week or whatever. Just I've progressed so much, honestly, since like when I first came in, my music was horrible, honestly. And like now I would actually listen to it, you know what I mean? Like yeah, before I was just kind of cringing. But yeah, so you guys definitely helped me in many ways, and especially like with the 80%, kind of at least even just thinking about it and like kind of using that as like a goal or like something to focus on is like definitely a good skill. Because obviously I mean, artists in general, this is the whole point of my platform, is that artists they aren't the best at like the technical side of things, like the marketing and their finances and those kinds of things. So we want to be able to help them to do that marketing, to do that like 80%, and then they can focus on that 20% that they're creating, their voice, their artwork, whatever they focus on. Yeah, so
yeah, wicked.
Yeah,
well, like I said, there's some talented minds out there who you know, if you have any questions or you just want to, I guess, want a feel of the market, and you know, I'm happy to connect you with some people, and or if anybody watching this wants to connect, how do they get in touch with you, bro? Like, especially for your music, like how do people get in touch with your art?
Sure. Well, I don't have any of my music anywhere, but to get in contact with me, it'd probably just be through Instagram at Fourwinters with a Z. So yeah.
And when can we expect to hear like a snippet of your music?
Probably never. Nah. I don't know. Once I've got it like mixed and mastered like to a quality that I think is like worth putting out there, then
this is one thing that I want to I guess kind of cement with other people out there, is that so many people are in a rush to get their music out there, and it's like, well, who's waiting? You know, so it's
I kind of feel like I'm exact opposite. Like I'm in completely not a rush, but that kind of isn't like so much a good thing, because like I could be getting more like kind of exposure and those kinds of things by putting my music out there, but it's not at the quality level yet. So like I maybe putting it out there would have a bad reputation or something, because it's not at the level that like I expect. I don't know.
So if you're going to present yourself, you know, if we go by the law of, or the rule that first impressions last, why not present the best version of yourself?
For sure.
Develop yourself as much as you can, develop your music as much as you can, and then when you feel like, you know, like you're at that peak, you know, like this is me as a professional, like that's the version that you put out to everybody.
100%. Yeah, well, it's important kind of like for young artists and people. It's important to remember that people only hear the final product. They don't hear like the 2 months of struggling, beforehand that you've put in.
That's right.
Which is like, it's a good thing, especially like for your confidence, because you don't have to worry about like, oh, my voice sounds so bad like right now, or like that take was like horrible or whatever. But they're only going to hear the final product, and that you can take as long as you need to complete that, to get to that. So like, I think that's something to remember, keep in mind. Yeah.
Well, hey man, appreciate your time. Appreciate you,
Good,
you know, just sharing a few thoughts with everybody out there. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you grow a whole lot more. We've got a couple of things that are coming out, I guess, that we're developing within our program that are hopefully going to help you guys further that 80% and further that 20% as well, from the talent to the marketing side of things.
Hell yeah.
Also, for anybody that's interested, we do actually have a snippet of some music from
damn it. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
So we got a cipher where people are, I guess, just what would you do to a certain beat? And your boy Leo, aka Fourwinters, has joined that. What should we call it? Cipher? Movement?
Cipher, yeah.
A jam? Sure, whatever. But yeah, that should be out very, very soon, actually.
Sure.
So keep an ear out. Keep up to date with the moves that Leo's making. And bro, once again, appreciate you.
Sweet. Thanks, Dave.
Sweet, bro.
Appreciate you too.
Ciao.